3, 2, 1, we're live.
Hi, folks.
Hey, everyone. Here we are, Thursday, June 6, 2019. Volley and Matt. And yeah, here we are. You're going to share your screen and we're going to, yeah, you said we have the issue, so you're going to create a branch to work off of that?
Yeah. So share the screen is here. So I share the screen. So authorization problem with this event post. Yeah. Okay. Go here. So I create a new branch very quick. So I was on approving your hover effect. It looks really nice. Thanks for that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not, there was a couple of things I wasn't 100% super happy with, but I left, like, I spent my working day on, I was reflecting on how, I think I told you already, but like, about how it was estimated at 8 hours work and I ended up spending like 8 hours on it. And so that was kind of interesting for me to see how it was pretty well estimated, I think. Yeah. And it was challenging as well. Like, I kind of said to myself that I wanted to make notes and create an issue or like, I don't know, like I kind of feel weird creating an issue to just like close it. But it's really nice for other people who might be in the same situation to find out what it took to make it work. And I think like the documentation is not correct. Like it doesn't work the way they're saying it should work. So I think like really what I should do is be putting in a contribution somewhere to like update their documentation so that it doesn't happen to other people in the future, because it took a lot longer to get it working than it would have if I know, if I knew then what I know now,
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it would be nice, no? But could you takes it really long to make a commentation there?
I don't know. I would hope not. Like the thing is that it's kind of like, knowing our own documentation is using like Gitbook and stuff like that. Like it's kind of a little bit more complex than if it were just like a GitHub example, because then I could just put in a PR like changing what I think needs to be changed and asking for feedback and telling my story there in the form of a PR, or creating an issue. That way people will find it later on, if they Google for it. Because I can't tell you how, I mean, you know as well, but like how great it is to Google for something that you get stuck on, and then being able to find someone who had created the issue and told other people how to get past it,
Yeah. And even there, you can make a little advertisement for Human Connection as well.
Exactly.
Right? Sometimes.
Yep.
And so it's kind of worth spending a little time on it.
Yep, exactly.
So from which page we going there? It's a question. So here's a postcard. So now I'm kind of on the profile page.
Yep.
Page profile ID Slack view. And there must be something like the content menu, I would say.
Yep. I don't think I mentioned earlier, but I should mention I've got to get to the React Mob in 45 minutes, so just to, I think you have to leave shortly after, anyways. But
yeah. Aha, here's a callback function. Okay, so my mistake was that I have not thought about that when I pass this to the content menu, probably it goes to all menu items.
Right.
Therefore, then to all modules.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's not the right solution then at the
No.
end. So then we have to customize this, actually, I would say.
Yeah. Or like take a an argument or something that's like tells the delete post callback where it came from.
Yeah. And yeah, at the end, I would say every kind of model has to get its own callback function.
Yeah. Yeah.
No? And even in the future, for the customization of the models, there you have to pass texts there and things like that. No, texts for the buttons and so on. Because when you have a single model with 2 buttons, I would say a dangerous model or something like that, with a red button for confirm and the other for cancel, and then you pass all the texts. It should all go through this element.
Yes.
So when we go to content menu, so then in the different, I have to see where I am. So comment. At the moment we're on the posts, so must be somewhere in the here, can name contribution here.
Yeah.
So what's going on here? That's the question. The problem is this callback is a different one. That is related to the menu, to the DS menu thing here.
Yep. It's a callback to open and close the modal.
Yeah, it's a callback to open and close the model. So, and where I pass the callback function, that is here, actually.
Did you I maybe I misunderstood, or maybe yeah, I think I might have misunderstood, because Robert had some ideas on how maybe you could improve the callbacks, like by confirm and cancel having their own callbacks, for example. I wonder if I'm trying to think if that would help.
What he liked to do is to say that's even worse, I would say.
Okay.
Instead of the callbacks in the content menu, put the confirm button here and the cancel button. But then you as well cannot distinguish between the disable, delete, release, or report.
Yeah.
So it's even more worse.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I wasn't suggesting we do just that. I was just trying to think if there's a you know, if we could, like, instead of having callbacks with like confirm and cancel, if we could do, instead of doing what he said, confirm and cancel, or I think you don't even need cancel. He was saying is that instead have like a property that's bound to like something that's unique to the modal, you know, like delete comment, for example. And then delete comments is passed down to the content menu. And then just when the person clicks on like the modal that's like delete the comment, you call like the method that is inside the delete, you know, the delete comment method. Does that make sense? I don't know if that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then you would end up having like, end up even passing down a bunch of stuff to the content menu that you wouldn't use all the time. You would only use like if the person wants to do that action, you know. But
so
yeah,
so then you would say, but I'm a kind of person I thinking for the future. No? Robert don't like that often because I know we have to customize the modal. What we gonna do with that?
Yeah.
That's the question for me. So we have a kind of a customization here through the menus.
Yes.
No? And it's here, what is it? Menu post edit and then router. So that goes to another page. And here it calls a callback, which opens the model.
Yes.
And how you like to get the data? The data at the moment goes through the store, which relates to the Vue.x, I would say.
Yeah.
No?
Don't even talk to me about. about Vuex. But yes, I saw this yesterday. It's kind of a very that's one of the simpler Vuex setups.
But what we gonna do then? For sure, if even for customization, no? We have to pass all the data there in the future to the model.
Yeah. Where can you show me where the actual the confirm callback is actually called?
Yeah. So if you go here in the delete model,
Yeah.
here there's a cancel method and a confirm method, and there is the are the callbacks called.
Yeah. So it's okay. So let me just verify that I'm understanding you correctly. You don't want to call, you want to call this confirm or cancel because you want to be able to reuse it for, like, you want to have one modal to rule them all, basically.
At the future, I agreed with Ulf, we would like to have one model to rule all the same kind of stuff.
Yeah. So like all the deletions or all the yeah.
So then we even have don't have to have tests for each of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes?
Exactly.
And on the other side, the database mutations and the handling of the deletions or whatever it takes, or the changes of the view elements are handled in there on the right place, no? in the components.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And not here somewhere in the deep of nowhere where nobody knows where it is.
So is it's still not exactly clear to me how the disable modal is calling this confirm method.
The disable model?
Yeah, because
the disable model does not call it.
Well, I mean, it does. That's why we're having a pairing session.
That's correct.
So like how does it call
because it's defined, yeah, because it's accidentally defined.
Okay.
But it shouldn't not do, because but here disable. No, okay, no, I have yeah, in the disable model, here's already still the mutation code. The GraphQL mutation is in disable model. I have not rewritten it, you know.
Yeah, no, I saw that. But like, isn't it calling the callbacks confirm on lines 55 to 57?
Yeah, correct. Because I already have structured that in the correct way that we can do one model out of it.
Yeah, but like, if you comment those lines out and then try disabling, like, will it still successfully disable but not call the method that we don't want to call?
Yeah, correct.
So I think the easiest thing would be to just remove that, and then we worry about like get that merged in, and then we worry about like what we can do to like, you know, to move towards what you're trying to accomplish, which is like having one callback function.
But I can comment that out. That's true, but I would prefer to find the correct solution for the future.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I absolutely understand what you mean, and that would solve the problem. But then the next one which goes to it will have it again.
Yeah, that's probably true. What about like if you rename that confirm that's highlighted there to disable, and then in the delete modal you call it this.callbacks.delete, and then this.callbacks.delete will delete any resource that the person's trying to delete, and disable. Okay, yeah, disable will disable anything that they're trying to disable, and so on.
That will not. Yeah.
I mean, you'll have more keys. Like you'll have, you know, instead of just having confirm and cancel, you'll have like delete and report and so on. You'll have many more. I think you have disable, delete, report. Yeah, you have 4 of them, right? Disable, release, report, and delete. But that would be the simplest thing, I think, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe, but then where we have the entry in the content menu, we have to put all the stuff in there which could be used in the model, because from the content menu it makes branches, no?
Uh-huh.
Through the menu items, you know?
Yep.
So at the beginning, where we put it in, everything has to be there. You understand?
Not really, like, because so this you have this delete contribution, right? That's the route that has like what, you know, it has the name of it, and it opens the modal, right?
Yeah.
And then in the delete modal is where the logic lives that actually will call the method to, you know, to run the mutation, or to
Correct.
call the mutation.
Correct.
So I
Yeah.
think, like, if you change in the individual modals, if you just add the logic to call a unique named method, then it won't be calling, like, because it seems to me like the issue is that it's calling, you know, one that's called confirm, that could be, it's like confirm what, you know?
Yeah, correct. So what we kind of should do in the future is something like say delete
Yep, exactly.
callbacks here, no?
Yep.
It's just an idea.
Yep.
Then disable callbacks, and then report callbacks, and for sure the release as well, no?
Yep.
So, and then, but even in the more future, we have to put there in here not only the confirm thing, we have to put the texts in there as well. The texts for the buttons, and the texts which is shown in the model, and the text of the title of the model.
Yes. Yeah, I understand that.
You understand?
Yep, I do.
So, and you're
that way
right.
you can check, like, because that way you can have one modal that handles it doesn't just handle deletion, it handles all of them, but it calls the right callback based on its name, or for example.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So therefore, it would be for me more interesting to say make one object out of everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't I mean, I can certainly see, like, having all four of those would be an easy way to do it. And at the moment, the only thing we need right now is the delete callbacks until we actually refactor the other stuff, right? But I was suggesting adding to that object that you, instead of calling it confirm, call it delete. Delete, for example.
No, that's not possible, because in the future we have not delete model and not disable model. We have one model.
Yeah.
So from where they should know how to call, also which to use.
Because you can have a key that's like delete, and then you can check, like, if it's disabled, don't call the method delete, call the method disable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I think I stutter. Stuttering, or what is it in English?
Yeah, stuttering. Yeah.
Stuttering. I would think about something like that. Just let me make a kind of yeah, what is it? It's modal data, no?
Yeah.
Like this.
Yep.
So
okay.
Okay, so go here, go there, then have this. So
I think in this case, then you would, well,
at the moment it would be maybe null, or an empty function, or whatever it takes.
Okay. Yep.
No?
Yep.
So Robert suggested just set an empty function there.
That returns an empty object.
Yeah. Because then you don't have to have the if there.
Yeah. I like that idea. I think there's an extra parenthesis there. I think, and for cancel, I think he was saying you can just have null or you can just admit it. I didn't understand what he meant by just admit it, but
so here we have to say this for sure. Okay. No? And then then you have to distinguish here in the model form, which goes here, you know?
Yeah.
Here you can distinguish between all. You put it all together through the content menu.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
And send it here instead the callbacks. You send the model data.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So then
that makes even more sense.
Still kind of easy. Yeah.
You're not passing down any additional information that the actual model needs. You're sending down only the thing that it will, and then you can just call it confirm instead of.
And here you could say something. You wouldn't call that callback probably. No. Mm-hmm. So to kind of take it easy, but I'm not absolutely sure about that. Callbacks not. Yes, no. Okay, I will make it kind of easy. You can say confirm callback, cancel callback, or you make an extra element which you call callback, and there's confirm, because in the future you can have maybe 3 buttons in an element.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use the whole structure for all the models, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not always confirm and cancel. But,
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you could have here something like title, no?
Yeah.
So now it's empty. Okay.
Yeah, I think I would use single quotes as well.
Single quotes, okay.
Yeah, it's annoying. The view you need to use double quotes. So like anything above the.
Okay. So one second.
Yep.
Tom?
Ja.
Ja, ich bin hier mit Matt und habe eine Pairing-Session. Ne?
Okay, alles klar. Ich bin auf dem Weg und halbe Stunde oder keine Ahnung bin ich wahrscheinlich bei dir.
Okay.
Bis gleich.
Dann bis gleich. Ciao.
Hello.
Ja, I shall greet from Matt as well. Bye-bye. So, Human Connection is a communication company. You didn't know?
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing is you can say the text, no?
Yes.
So from there you can really customize everything.
Yep. I can see your vision.
Yeah. So for sure I can make it bloody easy now. Yeah. But then later we have to think of the structure which I already had.
Yeah. I think I agree with you, but I think there is a balance between like I like adding complexity before complexity is needed, you know?
Yes, I know, but it's not only complexity, because this is really clear structure. It's not only complexity just because of you have a parency more or less.
Yes.
That is clear structure which tells the programmer what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So Robert is not always with a KISS principle. It's really nice, to say, but we have to have a kind of a little piece of visions have to be left.
Yes, I agree. I think there is it's certainly more straightforward when like now that like I've been looking at the code a little bit more and having you explain it like than it was like the first time I was looking at you doing this. But then also and also as well, like there is it. I mean, So I don't know. I tend to agree with you that it's not super complex. It's pretty straightforward when you explain it. But then also there's things that we can miss as well, right? Like, so just because it seems like it's straightforward doesn't necessarily mean that it will be, you know?
What do you mean by that?
I mean that like one of the reasons why not to add complexity unless you need it is because you can, if you add complexity, you might think, well, this is really straightforward. It's just passing down a prop to a child, and the child then passes it on to its child, and it knows what to do with it. And then you end up like realizing later that it's like, for example, the issue that we're dealing with right now, it's like actually call and confirm when we didn't realize it would be, you know, like, so it's something that we hadn't anticipated until now. And then we're like, okay, well, the way to solve that is we need to add a little bit more complexity, but that's good because in the long run, it's going to, you know.
I understand what you're telling, but what would be happen? Yeah, I was on the way to implement things like that because I talked about that with Ulf, and he just said, "Oh, just do that, blah blah blah." And then I ended up to see, okay, all my tests I have to all the tests have to be rewritten.
Yep.
Yes. What I was mistaken about was that it is possible, like in the release model, don't pass the callbacks to the release model. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I would have tried out that, and in my case, I thought it wouldn't work. But then Alex showed me it's no problem.
Yep.
Yes. But if I add all the structures everywhere, yeah, why I should spend an hour again to remove them again?
Yeah, no,
because in the next step and the next issue, kind of, okay, now we have decided we will not making yet. We will make it later, yeah. But I already have assigned it to me. Why I should remove an hour of work and then do it additional?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think the only reason you might do that is because, like, I think having one model that one model that does everything is definitely better than having many. I mean, not definitely better. It can be better than having many that do, like, it's adding code that's not necessary. You could add some complexity and have a lot less code, but how much time are you going to spend adding, like, you know, like that needs to be balanced. But I agree with you. Like, if the idea is that we're going to be the ones maintaining this in the future, then spending that time now is probably a good use of our time. And therefore, like, adding, you know, an hour every time someone adds a modal to do, like, I just want to delete the post, so I'm going to add a modal. I just want to delete a comment, so I'm going to add a modal. I just want to delete those hours add up, and it adds code.
And then have all the tests on the different models as well.
Yes, but that being said, like, you know, tests that most of those tests are just copying and pasting, so it doesn't take very long to do. But what it does do is it adds a lot more code. And so if you can add some complexity and it doesn't take too long, then you can have that in place. And anytime anyone adds something to it, it's much easier. So I definitely like the direction you're going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm definitely not saying. I definitely like that direction for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I really know what you're talking about, but I'm pretty sure the problem is one of the problems is the next goes on it. See, okay, and just does the same, no? Like the guy from Mexico, he just took the thing and put in the delete model. Yeah. If you give no clue about where you want to go, the people which are new just do the same as the old one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I do that as well. Like, it's yeah, you know, I know the code base better now than I did, but there's still lots of the code base that I don't know. And if there's, like, some way that Robert's done something, for example, like, then a lot of times I'll just, like, kind of copy and paste the same approach. And then there are times that I'm thinking critically and, like, and changing things. But then there's also times that I'm not thinking critically and I'm just kind of reproducing, getting something to work, you know.
Absolutely.
And I think you're right. If we can create the issue by saying, listen, let's not just, like, like let's give the person a little bit more to work on than just like have fun and implement it the way you want to implement it. Say like, hey, we have this in place. All you have to do is do this and this, then that will be helpful. But also as well, like as you're saying, like instead of just implementing it the fastest way to implement it, taking a step back and saying, is it likely that, like, not creating complexity where it doesn't need to be, but is it highly likely that I'm going to be reusing this in other places? And if so, let's create it in a way that it can be reused and not reproducing more code for no reason.
Correct. And there's another thing. When we say, okay, we want to have small issues, how I should program something, or how I can make a restructuring like this, yes, not in one issue. I always have to remove the too much complexity. How I can go forward when I make little steps out of it, which never are possible to refactor everything. Yes.
I mean, I think that you could have. I mean, I certainly wouldn't, as someone who does code reviews, I certainly wouldn't mind if you have an issue saying like, refactor this as much as possible, this entire like workflow, and then that PR would be bigger than if you refactor one at a time, but it would be all related to the issue of let's refactor this workflow. I think
then you cannot work like, okay, I have to remove all the additional stuff which I have already implemented for the next step.
Well, hopefully not. I mean,
but that's if we do it now. I'm not so critical about that. Yeah, but when we start to remove it now, yeah, it's kind of we build it back to a step where it seems a little bit like less complex. Yeah. And then when I go to the next issue, I have to rebuild it always again. It's not the way I like to work.
I don't think I understand what you're saying. Sorry.
If you have a bigger goal in mind, like here, to refactor all the things.
Yep.
Yeah. I cannot always, when I make a certain step, put again all the things out which I already have put into it to reach the new structure. Sorry, maybe it's too complicated to explain it. I have to, this restructure, refinement here, or refactoring, I have to make in different steps.
Okay. Why do you make in different steps? Right?
I cannot do in every step because it seems too more complex as it should be at that moment. Put all the things out which I already have programmed in to reach the next step. You don't understand?
No, not really.
If I remove this stuff here, and I go there the next time to refactor it, I have to put it in again.
Well, but I don't think I wouldn't expect you to refactor to go back. I mean, so what you're saying is like if you're working on this specific issue of like the modal is being, like the delete post is being called when you disable a post. Yeah. If you fix that issue, then like going forward to do the refactor, you're going to have to put back some of the things you removed to
correct
go forward. No, I mean, I wouldn't do that. I don't think
I would go forward and not back.
I think you should. Yeah. I think the only thing I would say is like, if you can remove like those 3 lines of code that are calling the confirm callback, and that solves the issue of not calling the delete post every time someone disables it, then I think that could be a PR that could get merged in today or tomorrow, whatever. And then you could, if you're feeling like, I mean, I guess there's the whole idea of what's priority and what's not, but if you're feeling the energy to like, let's refactor this workflow now so that other people in the future don't continue adding code that we need to refactor, then you could start directly on the refactoring the workflow, and you wouldn't be putting back more code. I mean, maybe those 3 lines, I don't know, but those, I think
it's not a lot. I will not discuss about that too long. Yeah, I have not absolutely. But with the delete thing, yeah, I'm more on the point. I would say I have designed here the structure.
Yes.
Okay, let's use it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you think that, like, I just think that if you're gonna I think you already created an issue for refactoring the modals,
Yes,
right?
I did.
So I think that if you put in a PR, then put in the PR that deals with this, and just put there that it fixes that bug at the same time. It's just the only thing that would give me pause is, like you said yourself, that you think that it would maybe be 10 to 20 hours more or less that to get to.
No. I will make it very short.
Okay. Okay.
Like this here.
Oh, right. Okay, I understand what you're saying.
I did in, yes.
Yeah.
And make the different decisions in the modal thing here. Yeah.
Yep.
Put the right things there, and that's it.
Okay. All right. Now I understand what you're saying. You're saying that you don't want to do like a half measure that you need to refactor to do the entire measure. You want to do the refactor thinking about the longer the big picture. Yeah.
Go in the future and not backwards.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that.
And at the same time, it's like it's a study. Yeah. Now we have put the structure here and see. Okay. Yes, that's the way we want to go. No? So it gives us the idea of overthinking it in the next time before I starting to refactor it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, I think looking at the like taking a high level view before working on something, I think is something I want to do more of, because if you don't do that, you can end up like you're saying, end up spending a lot of time building something or figuring something out that you don't need to build or don't need to figure out. So I think, I definitely really like your approach to taking a longer view and a higher level view on things.
Yeah. So I know, probably I think I'm pretty sure Robert absolutely don't like that.
Well,
yeah,
maybe not. I mean, he definitely uses that "keep it simple, stupid" mantra quite a lot. But then yesterday, like, we were pairing together, and I felt like I was needing to say that to him, because I was like, man, we have two working solutions that are both they're both not perfect, but they're both fine. And you want to, like, for some reason, you want to come up with like a different solution, like, and I don't know if I understand why we're justifying spending even more time on trying to come up with a solution that just updates the caching. And in the end, he ended up like not getting it to work, and just kind of, saying, let's not spend more time on it. Let's just remove the reload, and that'll be our solution. And it's like the simplest solution of all, but yeah. So I think it's never, I think with Robert, I don't think it's cut and dry. I think if it was his idea to add the complexity, I think he would be quite happy with adding the complexity and would be able to justify it. But when it's somebody else doing it, it's like, keep it simple, stupid. And it's like, I know that, but I'm also, taking a longer view on it, like you would if you were doing this, hopefully.
I can tell you, if I have programmed the PostScript interpreter, and all the very, very, very complex stuff, if I hadn't thought for the future, I would still work on it.
Yep.
Because it does not work out always to keep it simple, stupid. It's a kind of a balance.
Yeah.
It's to say, okay, that's too much complexity. Okay. So not even for other contributors and things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you have to think for the future, and so it's kind of balance. You have to find the balance.
Yeah, and you can remove, like, you're removing complexity by not having a lot of if this and this, if else this, if this and this, else this. You're like saying, we're going to pass you down what you need, and you don't need to be smart. Just be stupid. Like, take the text and display it. Take the title and display it. Take the button, and when a person clicks on it, do what we're telling you to do. You don't need to think about it. And so that removes complexity, actually, I think. And removes lots of code. So, and removes tests that you don't need to write. And, so yeah, I mean, the more I think about it, the more I would even like push back on whether it's more complex, because actually you're trying to do that thing that I was saying to do, which is like the container is the smart, is what's smart and knows what the content menu needs, for example, and just passes it what it needs, and the content menu just displays it. It doesn't do anything else.
Correct. It's I thought about what you have told me. Now you got to go on.
No, I have time.
Okay.
I don't have to start it. I just need to go when the thing comes through. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought about that. You said the parent should have the most complexity as the child.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't agree with you, and I say it's like Sam. It depends.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
Because if you have something which you can really generalize, and you use the child all over the place, then put it to the child.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it is kind of customization, then you have to leave it to the parent.
Yeah.
But all the parents are different.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's not always the solution to leave it to the parent.
No.
Because if you put it to the child, it's not so often existence.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also, it's not just parent and child. There's many times grandparents and grandchildren, and like
Correct.
it's never one case. But it just, as a general rule, I think like having like modular components that are only responsible for presenting the data that they're given,
correct.
I think is
If
a
it's
good
post,
idea.
Yeah, leave all the post stuff to the post component. Yes, and all the different things like menus and models and whatever it takes, customize them.
Yeah.
And then it's all the information related to the post is on very not a lot of components.
Yeah, but I think then in that scenario, you would have post, which is its own component, and then you have all these other ones that are customized to be used with different data types, like users and all these kind of things. But then even in that, like if you look at just the post, I think then you're going to have like, an intelligent parent, and you're going to have like we have for comments, like comment.view, which is just really presenting the information about that comment, and it's just and it can be repeated like in a comment list where you have like 100 different comments
everywhere. Correct.
Yeah. So then I was like, I mean, at some point I'm thinking of jumping into the comment thing again for the create comment, and trying to work out a solution where we avoid these like the global emission things, to add it to the comment list, in like see about updating like the Apollo store so that it displays the comment without needing to refetch the post.
Yeah, but I talked with Greg about that, and he said with the Apollo store, in his opinion, he was not sure it can be so hidden and complex that a new contributor just does not know what happens.
Yeah.
If you make it via emitting events, then it's kind of obvious what happens.
Yeah, it's true.
And they are received somewhere and blah blah blah. If you does it with a very smart thing like this Apollo store, something like that, then it's kind of hidden, and all the new ones have really big difficulties to put your brain through this.
Yeah, I mean, not just new ones. Like I stopped going down that route because I got blocked by it, and then we were having a look at it with Robert yesterday, and he kind of got blocked by it. Like not saying that he wouldn't be able to figure it out, or I wouldn't be able to figure it out now, but it definitely is something new to learn. But I think the thing that it buys us is that I'm not even necessarily so worried about the global emission, but about the fact that it needs to refetch the post, which is kind of like unnecessary. It's like we already have the post, and the only thing we're changing is like one comment in the comment list. So if we can reach into that representation that exists in the store and just replace that entire comment list, or add something to that comment list and have it be reactive, then it doesn't need to do another back-end request, you know,
Right.
which I think is a good goal, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm pretty sure it works like I did now with the deletion.
Yeah, I mean, certainly when Joseph and I tried that together and it didn't work. But like
But there must be when you do with a callback, there must be the callback is different.
Yeah, I know. I want to have a look at the stuff that you've implemented since then to see if that can be done, you know.
Yeah. Because the callback is called when the database operation is already done and successful.
Yep.
No? And then maybe you can change data there in the callback, or in the callback when you do the transformation of the database, which then triggers the key to redisplay the list item.
Yep. I mean, I have to have a better look at it now that I know more about Vue.js and Vue Apollo. And I mean, the other thing like that, using Vue Apollo in the way that like is, I think, not so complex for people who are used to using it is like you can have optimistic responses as well. So even before the database has a chance to respond, it's already displaying your comment there. And then if something fails, for example, then it removes the comment and gives you a message why it was removed, you know. But like I was talking to Robert a little bit about that, and he's like, doesn't really care about optimistic responses.
No.
I think, I mean, it happens
we can do it later, and it's not so important because the response of the database don't lasting so long.
No, it's quite quick, and like it's not a bad user experience.
No. One moment.
Hallo. Willst du noch machen bis 5 oder?
Ja, also Matt muss gleich weg. Also ich würde vielleicht gleich noch programmieren. Können wir gleich nochmal schneiden.
Ja, okay.
Okay. Sorry. So, yeah. Okay.
But it's kind of like goes back to that whole thing, like, you know, even when I'm talking about going back and refactoring, it's like, I think how much of a priority is it, you know, like the way it's working right now is fine. And it doesn't like different from the modal that you're talking about refactoring. It doesn't it doesn't mean that new people coming and creating new code are going to continue reproducing like a badly architected.
That is the most important thing.
You know? Yeah.
Yes. Don't make the same kind of mistakes as in the future at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And then once you figure out a nice way to do it, then going back and refactoring once everyone's like popping champagne and we're live in production and our donations have doubled and all that kind of stuff. There'll be plenty of things for us to do.
Yeah, they will. But that's our future. I'm looking really happy at it.
Yes.
And I'm kind of happy that Alex is with us.
Yeah,
I must say.
Yeah.
And he now understands the model of Vue better.
Yes.
Because I showed him you don't have to get the data or the datas of the components of the DOM elements somewhere. It just works different.
Yeah. I mean, it has a lot of magic behind the scenes that does things for us that we don't need to hack away to do it ourselves. It's just like, you know, in that sense, keep it simple, stupid. Like, you know, if you, instead of refetching the post, for example, have you tried using keys, which causes when something changes in the key, it's reactive. Those type of things that, like, you know, they make it easy for you to do it. I think like I definitely happy. I mean, I haven't spent as much time with Alex as you have, but I'm happy. Ulf is on board. I'm happy. Alex is on board. I'm happiest that I'm full time. But like I would like, you know, selfishly it would be nice to have Joseph on in some capacity. And like, you know, the decision, I think, to not bring him on in the sense that we can't onboard new developers at this time because we need to spend all of our time in developing, and you know, the person doesn't know the code base and it's going to take them time to learn the code base, and we don't have the time to be paying someone to learn the code base. I think it's like, I kind of don't 100% agree with that, because I think it's not really that simple, you know. Like someone like Joseph has a lot more experience than I do in JavaScript, for example, and there's times that I'm like, really, I wish I was pairing with Joseph on this, because he, you know, I'm sure that he knows a better way of doing this, and that would help me. And then I can help him with getting to know the code base, you know?
You're right. But even with Alex still, or all, the problem is when you have a specific amount of money,
Yeah.
And you put so much programmer in it that it's kind of after 2 months the money is away. Yeah,
and then nobody else.
reach the goal after two months. It doesn't matter how many people you put in it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
You know, that's a problem. We have to weigh out that as well.
Yep.
And I can tell you as far, Alex is a very important networker.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
And he's not like it's not like he doesn't know JavaScript himself, you know. Like if I run into JavaScript issues, I can talk to Alex about that, you know. I think the thing that's like the most difficult for me, like getting help from Alex or helping Alex, like or having that exchange is the language barrier. But then I don't speak German, so I can't expect that everyone's going to just speak English perfectly, and when they don't, like.
Yeah. And he likes to learn German, but he's kind of shy with that.
Yes.
And I told him, just go over it.
Yeah. I mean, the majority of the people I work with are non-native English speakers. You know, like very few people I work with are native English speakers, so it's just part of it. You know, I mean, I'm happy that Mike is getting involved as well. Like, and we're finding, you know, bite-sized issues for him to kind of work on, because I think that's, you know, I think Martin is kind of, he's told me he's not interested in onboarding any new members. And I kind of like, I think that, you know, we could be or should be spending a little bit of time, like a limited amount of time every week on onboarding new members, because, you know, we can't spend too much time on it because then we won't reach our goals. But we have
to spend the time. But at the moment, I would say it's difficult to spend even more money on it.
Yes.
Yeah? To spend a little bit of the time. I agree with you absolutely.
Yeah.
But we can at the moment not really spend big money on it.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
So I donating 1/3 of my time minimum, I would say.
Yeah.
And you probably donate even more time as I do at the moment, which is risky, I would say. For me, it's not risky because I'm half-employed.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is that we reach the goal, and that's very good that you are kind of determined to say, hey, what's really necessary to go to the alpha. Just let us do as quick as possible in a safe way, so that we don't have problems with the users again, and things like that. So and then if this step is done, the world looks different, and then even people like Alex and others getting in place, because they are networkers, and they know really a lot of people. No, and so that's very important then to spread it into our network, which kind of already exists.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Martin, like long term, the goal is still to be living in the United States part-time so that Paula has her green card. And like, I definitely am looking forward to being able to do networking in the United States, because at the moment, like Martin has talked to me about the efforts in the past and stuff, and what it would be like in the future. But the US market is such a huge market that at some point we obviously do want to get, you know, like into that.
And they're really living a lot of great, smart people.
Yes.
Which are sometimes probably much more critical than we are.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I'm excited about, like, you know, committing to doing this, to participate in this meetup group with Human Connection stuff, is because like there's a lot of programmers there in like the Bay Area, people who have finished like boot camps and are proficient programmers, but are just haven't got their first job, and it's difficult, you know, to get your first job. So I think, you know, it's an untapped resource that, you know, that also means that those are people who are already located there, and therefore can, you know, help spread the word about it, and, you know, start getting a donation base in the United States as well. Because really, like when you donate in the United States, like you can take it off on your taxes. So, you know, there's incentive for people to give to organizations, you know.
Mm-hmm. And you can take it here off your taxes, but only a part.
Okay.
Kind of 20%, which is not a lot.
No, That's not a lot. 20% of what you give, or 20% of your taxes.
20% of what you give.
Okay. Yeah.
As far as I know, maybe it differs a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're getting not the half back or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, he already shared the link, so I should go do some
Yeah.
React stuff.
Okay. Then see you tomorrow.
Yes, I'll see you tomorrow.
Have a nice day. Huh?
Send greetings to Tom.
Yes, and greetings to Paula. Ciao, ciao.
Pretty soon we won't need to say that over video conferencing. We can actually say things in person.
Yes, that will be wonderful. I'm looking really forward to it.
Yes, it's a little bit more than a month,
Yes, we count. Bye, my dear.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.